Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to our morning heart devotion. Let's begin by greeting our heavenly parent and true parents. 하나님 부모님, 존진 참 부모님께 경배. 바로. Now please receive Reverend Milhan Stevens for the family pledge.
가정맹세 1. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 전주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 중심, 세계에서는 성인, 전주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 자녀를 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 자녀극 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 자녀극 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 속방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Milhan. Now for our opening prayer, if I can invite up Kae Iwamoto to pray for us.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Parents, two parents, heaven and earth, all humankind, thank you so much for this precious time of morning devotion. We gather together as your sons and daughters, centering on you, centering two parents and Dr. Yong. We are grateful for your word and love to cultivate our heart every day. We are one family under this morning devotion of online Holy Community. We are grateful for Dr. Yong's utmost sincerity. We will celebrate 10th anniversary of True Father's Holy Ascension. So many things happening in the world. We repent ourselves, our shortcoming and immaturity. will overcome with two mother who has been patient and longing for you all the time. You are alive. You have been pouring all your total love to each of us, even during the most difficult times. We just need to trust you and love you. Please open our heart to receive your word and love. I report with precious brothers and sisters. In my name, Etsuo Kai Iwamoto. Blessed Center Family, Aju.
아주 땡큐 카에상 감사합니다. 교와 고시신가 이나이 데스네. 땡큐 very much.
Aju. Thank you, Kaya-san. And once again, good morning, family. So happy to see you. It's another wonderful day where we get to gather like this. So let's share our appreciation, 3 to 5 points each, and join in this just 7 minutes together, and we'll be right back. Welcome back. All right. Welcome back. I hope you had a great and warm breakout session. I certainly did. I'd like to invite up Tatsuko-san, Muraoka, if you could share your appreciation. If you please unmute.
Yes, I shared, I went to art museum. There is a Monet exhibition, and every year I apply the dual card membership and bring someone with me. Only 2 people can go. And then I went to invite some, she moved here, then she really likes the art, and then we went there. That is really beautiful music, like a cello, Ave Maria, and the Swan, and many Chopin, and Bach, and Vivaldi, and then art is moving. Monet art was moving, and then I'm crying. Yeah, just the healing come to my heart.
Yeah.
That is really beautiful music and a beautiful art. I really realize even we are foreign nature, but that's Monet and many artists make a beautiful music and art. And then I just cry. And then even though we are foreign nation can make that's beautiful. If we are not foreign, for how much God want to make a beautiful world, beautiful art, beautiful music. And I had a true parent, true father told us that even the orchid that is really beautiful in the world flower, that is still, if heaven is that's I'm sorry, my English. Really beautiful flower is in the heaven, just not so. Yeah, what's it? Wild looks like a wild flower, and then I really feel that God lost that world with us. And then we are always focused on my foreign nature, how can that's person to foreign nature, that's person to, but just I really want to more focus of the how much God want to create a beautiful world, beautiful. And also I have the maybe I have to believe I have the good. If I'm not, we are not for how much I'm beautiful, how much I'm really
Beautiful Muraoka, beautiful Tatsuko.
yeah,
I
inside.
think you really, I feel that you cultivate your heart so much. That's why you can have that kind of beautiful experience. Your heart is not so beautiful. How can you feel that? I think through your
Thank
life
you.
of faith, cultivate your heart so much. Thank you so much for your beautiful sharing, Tatsuko-san.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tatsuko-san. Beautiful. I'd like to invite up next Peter and Monica Lewis. Share your gratitude.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay.
Can you
Good
hear
morning.
us? Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
sure.
Yeah.
So we're at Camp Shahakwa. So I was just sharing my appreciation for the camp. We've been here a few times over the years, mostly when our kids were smaller. We came, and it's just such a nice way to spend a week. Very relaxing, and of course, speaking of beauty, we're in the middle of nature, so we're really appreciating that. And I have a greater appreciation for trees right now because just 3 days ago we have had a huge oak tree in our backyard, like a 250 or to 300-year-old oak tree, which had to be removed because it got split in the middle, and it became a hazard. So we had to have the whole thing removed. And I was saying, right now I'm sort of feeling a bit of a sense of loss for losing that tree. It's almost like losing some kind of friend or something. It's been there for so many, since we moved into the house like 22 years ago. Solid, reliable, providing a home for birds, squirrels, providing us shade in the summer, and now it's gone. And anyway, I'm just really appreciating trees. I'm surrounded by trees right now. And yesterday we took a bike ride near to Camp Shahakwa, and just riding through like a arcade of trees. And anyway, that was my appreciation today. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
thank you
also-
so much, Peter. And Monica.
Yes, I'm also grateful for the camp, Shahakwa. It brings so many memories back for our children when we came here when they were very little as families. I vividly remember fighting, or my husband trying to get a bat out of our cabin with a jacket. It was kind of adventurous. But so many camps, so much effort has gone into preparing. So much staff is behind, and really to make an experience in nature with God so meaningful. And yeah, I really appreciate that. And also the performing arts camp, we just came yesterday, but all these performers, second gen, first gen, expression of creativity is just amazing. And you need an audience, right? So I'm there to appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Luis couple, always beautiful sharing. 감사합니다.
Peter and Monica. Yes, beautiful. And thank you to all the Camp Shahakwa staff. And we've been hearing testimony after testimony the last few days. So thank you for all your investment. All right. We're here at what we've been waiting for, our morning heart devotion. Thank you, Dr. Yong, so much. He prepares so many hours, even investing into this, even though he's with his family. So thank you. So let us open our hearts, open our minds, and receive what God wants to tell us today. Please welcome Dr. Chang-Shik Yong.
안녕하세요. Good morning. Good morning. My dear brothers and sisters, clergy and ambassador for peace, 안녕하십니까? Now I have so much energy because I spend time with my family members. Whenever I see my grandchildren, I always can get incredible energy and power. I really appreciate our heavenly parents and true parents. Thank you so much for your incredible prayer and support for my family. Today, I'd like to talk about the role of women from True Mothers Anthology 1. Let's study.
The role of women. We need to advance not only toward the establishment of Chanokuk, but also toward its firm settlement. The Chinese character An in Anchak, firm settlement, is composed of the character of a woman within the character of a house or the top part of a Korean traditional hat for men. Hence, the character An is one that means comfort, peacefulness, or calm. In the world, when a large house is built, who is the owner of the house? Is it the man or the woman? In Korea, we call the husband Pakat Yangban, literally the outside nobleman, and we call the wife Anbang Mainim, literally the woman of the main room. In a traditional Korean house, which is divided into a number of sections, the husband is only in charge of the men's quarters, which is one of the outer sections of the house. What this means is that in the context of providential history, the woman's role is important. You must take the initiative on the front line in embracing all humanity in true love. While I was preparing for the holy wedding with True Father, I made the determination to end this tiresome providence of restoration through indemnity. However, it doesn't work with only a man. I also had to go with him all the way to the end. I had to fulfill my responsibility. You clearly understand indemnity conditions through the divine principle. I had to set up all the indemnity conditions by myself. That is the difference between you and me. I also had many critical moments. However, I was single-hearted in my devotion to liberate God. That is why I am confident in front of humanity as the true parents. You, in particular, must become one with me. We must become one. In a world of goodness, without any trace of the fall, everyone would always know what God was thinking. Even if I don't say anything, you should be able to think, what is True Mother thinking of? I'll do this for her in that way. Wouldn't it be better for you to do something out of your own initiative than doing so under orders?
Yes. True Mother said that the reason she made a determination to hold the holy wedding with the True Father was to end the tiresome providence of restoration through indemnity of God's 6,000 years history within her lifetime. She also said that since True Father cannot do it alone, True Mother was determined to take responsibility over the things he was unable to fulfill and do it for him. True Mother overcame unimaginable hurdles of indemnity and had many critical moments. But True Mother said that one thing that would not change was the single-hearted devotion to liberate God. Therefore, she said that the only way for God's will to be realized is for us who follow True Mother to become one with her. And we must all have the sense of the ownership and do something out of our own initiative rather than doing so under orders. Very beautiful guidance. And the living divine principle today, again, I'd like to talk about the development, perfection, and features of the spirit self. Let's study EDP first.
Qualities of the spirit self. All the qualities of the spirit self are developed while it abides in the physical self. Sinful conduct during earthly life aggravates evil and ugliness in the spirit of a fallen person, while the redemption of sins granted during earthly life opens the way for his spirit to become good. This was the reason Jesus had to come to the earth in the flesh to save sinful humanity. We must lead a good life while we are on the earth. In Matthew 16:19, Jesus gave the keys to the kingdom of heaven to Peter, who remained on the earth. And in Matthew 18:18, he said, whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven. Because the primary objective of the providence of restoration must be carried out on earth.
Yeah. I think whenever I read this Bible content, Matthew 18:18, he said, whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, And whatever you lose on earth shall be lost in heaven. Wow. If I do not taste of the kingdom of heaven on the earth, does not make sense to go to spiritual world, have the taste of the kingdom of heaven. That's why no matter what, I need to really have the taste of the kingdom of heaven within my family, within my community, within my church. This is very important. You know, when Jesus passed away and he gave the key to enter kingdom of heaven to his main disciple, Peter, because need to establish a kingdom of heaven, not in heaven, centering on earth. That's why, my brothers and sisters, without establishing kingdom of heaven, without tasting kingdom of heaven in my family and in my community, in our church, does not make any sense. That's why let's have the taste of kingdom of heaven on the earth. And even Jesus said, if you gather together in my name, just 2 or 3 people, then you can have an inseparable relationship, really long for each other, love each other. That is already starting kingdom of heaven. That's why Trinity is important. No need to talk about the secular world so terrible, this and that was a really problem. No need to mention that. How can I create kingdom of heaven centering on me? At least I need to give and take with a few people, artistically, internally, and then they can feel that this is the kingdom of heaven. I don't want to run away from this group, this Trinity. This is kingdom of heaven begins. That's how can create the minimum level of the kingdom of heaven, at least 3 spiritual children, at least 2 or 3 people really gather together and then artistically give and take. This is the beginning of the kingdom of heaven. That's why without even minimum kingdom of heaven centering on 2 or 3 spiritual children, does not make any sense, my brothers and sisters. So our job is what? Wherever I go, creating that kind of a beautiful kingdom of environment. Does not matter your place, does not matter anywhere. How can I create that kind of kingdom of heaven? At least 2 or 3 people are really longing for me. I'm longing for them. I came back home and then my family is waiting for me. I am really loving them and then take care of them. I go to Clifton Church and then I have many object partners to give and take artistically. I feel kingdom of heaven is here. I go to Korea and then already there are many people to give and take artistically. We are the one who create the kingdom of heaven wherever we go, wherever I stay. This Bible verse is very, very powerful. If we can create the kingdom of heaven in heaven, then already that does not make any sense to living on the earth. Problem is, God wants to establish a kingdom of heaven on earth first. And then automatically we can build kingdom of heaven in heaven. This is really powerful. That's why while we are wearing our physical body, it's very important. Without physical body, how do we bear fruit? How to really grow up our spiritual self? Our spiritual self, without our physical body, it is impossible to grow up. It is impossible to cultivate our heart and mind. Our physical body is really, really important. How much incredible value, my brothers and sisters. That's why you need to treat your body as God's temple. So precious. How much important it is, my brothers and sisters. That's why do not die easily. Do not get sick. While you are on the earth, no matter what, you need to complete your spiritual self. You need to cultivate your heart. You need to experience of the 4 realms of heart to the great kingship. You need to have the real taste of the kingdom of heaven, centering on your family, centering on your tribe, centering on the nation, one nation. Very important, my brothers and sisters. And then let's study Father's word.
This is the error of parents. What kind of relationship do you have with me? You should see me during your prayer and in your dreams every day. Raise your hand if you have had such an experience. You must become these kinds of people. All Unification Church members throughout the world must have such experiences. You have to know about the spirit world. You must be able to see me in a vision even when wide awake. There will be someone who can do it. This is the first time in history for such phenomena to occur. It is unprecedented and will never happen again in the future, because you wouldn't even know if it is God if God appeared to you. I am appearing to you instead. Do you understand? We need to live in a realm of direct dominion such as this. So, do these spiritual experiences gradually become weaker or stronger? These experiences should gradually gain strength. Before Adam and Eve fell, they were not free from God's intervention. In the same way, I have to step into your individual lives and guide you in all matters. Do you understand what I am saying? Yes. If you follow my directions and do everything with joy and excitement, you will enter that realm. Although I asked you to do the most difficult or impossible things, if you are determined to do them with more joy than I have, you will immediately enter that realm. If you step forward to accomplish them at the risk of your lives, I will immediately come to guide you.
Yes. Since we have passed the Old Testament age and New Testament age and are now living in the era of the 천일국, we have ushered in an age of having to receive direct dominion from true parents. We must first have spiritual experiences of true Father appearing in our dreams often and receive his directions. True Father said that 100% of Unification Church members have to become people who receive direct dominion from true parents. Then he said that the more years of experience you have in your faith being renewed, the more those spiritual experiences will gradually become stronger. And just as Adam and Eve were intervened by God when they were not fallen, true Father directly intervenes in our lives and tells us that everything should be a life that he can come and guide. What should we do to receive the guidance of direct dominion true Father talk about? This is the important issue. There is only one way. The heart that loves and longs for true parents must be stronger than anyone else. And we must have the resolve to offer our life for the sake of God's will. If you truly have a longing heart, like you are crazy, how much do you have a longing heart for true Father? Even you cannot sleep, even you cannot eat, you cannot do anything because you miss him. You long for him really crazy. Beyond eating and sleeping and resting and day and night thinking and then longing for him, Father said, true Father directly can intervene, directly guiding you. So problem is we don't have that kind of longing heart. We don't have that kind of desperation. That's why, even though true Father in spiritual world try to help us, but you don't have that kind of foundation of the longing heart, desperation. That's why God cannot do anything, spiritual world cannot do anything, and then also even true Father cannot do anything. There are certain degree of the longing heart. Your longing heart is very shallow, not deep enough, not desperation. Then spiritual world and true Father cannot make a reciprocal base. Important things are the degree of the longing heart, the degree of the missing, the degree of heart, the degree of love. How much do we have? This is the issue, my brothers and sisters. If there is no foundation to form a reciprocal relationship with the true parents, they cannot come down and directly walk. That's why the kingdom of heaven is what? The world of longing heart. Once you have the really deep longing heart, you can go everywhere. You can reach to anyone. This is really powerful. Okay? Longing heart is like beyond denomination, beyond nationality, beyond any boundaries. This is the world of longing heart. And today's youth ministry, a person of heart is always steadfast like a tree. Let's start.
Go out with the center on the foundation of seniors' sacrifice. All things exist in principle. Is there unprincipledness among them? Fallen nature cannot be discovered anywhere among all things. Look at trees. As a central column grows, the left and right branches stretch up. Branches that do not receive sunlight wither and die, and branches that grow have a reciprocal relationship with sunlight while facing the center live. Let's think of the column that faces the center of true parents and the branches attached to the tree as our Unification Church members. There are bound to be sacrifices from our seniors along the way. However, we have to kick them and go out facing the center. After stepping on the sacrifice of our seniors, we must have the heart to go through with the center. That is, we have to tread on death and overcome it. This tree shows that they stood up after stepping on such sacrifice and death.
Yes, all things always follow the law of nature and exist in principle. All things live absolutely conforming to the principle of nature. All things know how to genuinely preserve themselves and grow themselves without any gaps at any given moment. Therefore, human beings must also live and absolutely conform, centering on the law of God's word. And just as 3 branches stretch up, centering on the central column, our faith also cannot deviate from the center. In addition, it is a principle that you should go out with the absolute mutual relation with the center. How much are you aligned with God and true parents? We must have the faith like sunflowers. I'm often talking about sunflower faith, right? Sunflower rotate their bodies centering on the sunlight all the time. Do you have that kind of alignment with God and true parents? This is beautiful. I think 해바라기, Korean people say sunflower is 해바라기. This 해바라기 is really guiding us. What is our life of faith? You know, our life of faith should be like sunflowers. Sunflowers, no matter what, does not matter, raining, does not matter, any situation. Sunflowers knows the way is the sun. Sunflowers rotate their bodies centering on the sunlight all the time, 24 hours. This is really amazing. Really, sunflower teaches us that we need to have sunflower faith. Just as when a tree does not see sunlight, its branches wither and die. If we do not live while observing God's love like the sunlight, we will die. Just like how a tree cannot live for a moment without sunlight, human being also cannot live for a moment without God's love. As a tree grows, the first branch is pushed by the new branch and eventually disappears. So we must constantly advance toward the center of the foundation of our ancestor sacrifice. So, this really that some kind of the branches disappear. That is a really incredible, our ancestors' sacrificial foundation. And they come and go and come and go and come and go and disappear. Because of their incredible, their foundation and sacrifice, we are still here. After stepping on the sacrifice, our ancestors and our seniors, we must have the heart to go through with the center. That is, we have to tread on death and overcome it. Next.
If you cannot have the essence of love, you fall behind. How many people fall on the path we are walking on? How many people fall under the shadows, fall after being removed by others, fall because Cain and Abel have discord and make mistakes in relationships and become like dead branches? There are many people who become like trees that do not see sunlight and die. Among us believers, there are people who wither and die. Even though you just have a physical body and are eating, if you cannot have the essence of love, it is always easy to fall behind. People who do not possess love have the appearance of a living person, but they are dead.
Yes, thank you, Heavenly Honey. How many people fall behind on the paths we are walking on? There are a lot of members who return and become our member. However, the number of members leave is too large to count. Our surrounding environment is more of an environment that puts me and to the test and puts me down, rather an environment that welcomes me. Therefore, the environment always drives me into an environment where I have no choice but to betray God. That's why we need to overcome any environment, my brothers and sisters. That's why True Father said that faith is what? Overcoming. Faith that cannot overcome the environment leads to death. No matter what happens, you have to overcome it. If you overcome the environment, it is life. If you do not overcome it, it is death. This is the problem. If we overcome, we can go forward. We can see the life. We can see hope. We can see vision. But you cannot overcome. What happened? You will die. It's like going into the sea. If you can swim, you can enjoy freedom and save lives, right? But if you do not know how to swim, you will eventually die. What to do, my brothers and sisters? It is like how if Adam and Eve ate the fruit, God said, do not eat, but if they ate the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, they surely die. If they did not eat the fruit of knowledge of good and evil, they will have eternal life and blessings. The path of the faith is the path of life and death, my brothers and sisters. There is a question of life or death at stake. Therefore, the life of faith should never be neglected, my brothers and sisters. The faith must be centered with the absolute central figure in any environment and can only survive when a common base is created. Even though you just have the physical body and are eating, if you cannot have the essence of love, it is always easy to fall behind. People who do not possess love have the appearance of the living person, but they are dead. My dear brothers and sisters, very important. Whatever the circumstances, faith must triumph. You must get victory no matter what. It is our destiny to win over, no matter what. You do not overcome, you will die. Therefore, there can be no failure or setbacks in the life of faith. If you do not have a victory in your life of faith, you will be sacrificed to Satan. You become Satan's offering. In any circumstances, our absolute destiny is what? To win and to gain the victory no matter what. We need to overcome. We need to win. We need to gain the victory. This is our absolute destiny. We cannot fail. Cannot. If you fail means connect to that. That's why no matter what, we need to overcome. Life of faith is overcoming. Because God is alive. God is a living God. When you unite with God, you can overcome anything. It is nothing impossible. In the name of God, in the name of true parents, we can overcome. That's why our choice is what? Not failure. No matter what, we need to overcome. This is our absolute destiny. Do not allow any failure. Everybody needs to complete. This is our absolute destiny, my brothers and sisters. That's why life of faith is what? Like a life and death. To win, we must be people of the heart. We need to be really heartistic people. We always need to connect to God's heart. A person of heart is always steadfast like a tree. Let's be that kind of tree. Actually, all things teach us so many lessons, right, my brothers and sisters? I hope you understand just now what I'm talking about. Thank you very much. God bless you. And the living testimony, I think our Joshua MC can introduce. 감사합니다. My dear brothers and sisters, I really already missing you, loving you so much. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Dr. Yong. What a powerful message. Cultivating our longing heart. That's your mantra, Dr. Yong. Thank you so much, leading by example, your words. So now for our living testimony, I want to invite up Kayon Moyungo. She is a CARP leader in Minnesota, as well as YCLC as well. And she's going to be sharing her experiences with witnessing with CARP recently. So please welcome Kayon Moyungo.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Dr. Yong.
네.
And I went to Top Gun in 2017. That's when I met young first generation unificationists. I was really impressed to meet these unificationists. They're all younger than me. And then over time, I joined CARP workshops in the Midwest. And then in the pandemic, I joined a couple of workshops. CARP Las Vegas, they hosted workshops online. And that's when I was inspired to start a CARP chapter in Minnesota. And here I can share my screen as well. Okay. And this year, in March of 2022, we were able to register our CARP chapter at the University of Minnesota and start the student group. And there are only 4 BC unificationists studying at the university. Myself and this brother and this sister. And we needed 5 students to start the student group. We needed 5 signatures. And Karen, our vice president, asked her Christian friend, Amanda. And Amanda happily signed up to support our student group. She's been wanting a student group like this for a long time. So it was really amazing to have this happen. The registration date was, deadline was coming up. And so I could really feel Spirit World and God was guiding us, making sure that we can really register our student group on campus. So I was really moved by that. And then next, Chumon Katayama was able to come to Minnesota. He supports our pioneering chapters. So this was my first time witnessing at all. And we were going on campus sharing the 8-question survey. and this was a very powerful experience. He was only there for 2 days, and I'm just glad that I could have a taste of what witnessing is like, sharing with students, people I never met, what my faith is, believing in God and your parents, and sharing the principle with these people. And then from witnessing on campus, we met these students. They came to our student group where we discussed and studied the principle a little bit. We weren't reading from the divine principle, not quite. I was hesitant to read directly from the principle, but we were coming together to discuss universal values and talk about deep topics. And a couple of times, Amanda saw Reverend Compton's video on principle of creation, that kind of thing. But we didn't really read directly from principle, not yet. And here is another friend of BC international student, May. He has a Hindu background, but he's a Christian leader for a Christian group on campus. And he joined, and it was really amazing to be able to connect with these students and talk about deep topics. And I was really moved. This kind of unique first experience for me. And then one of our students, one of our guests, she came to Karen's graduation. And it was amazing to have this kind of genuine connection and this desire to stay connected when we met not too long ago. So, and then we had our Midwest CARP workshop. And this is a 2-day workshop at the end of every semester. We come together to put together this workshop for our guests. Minnesota, we didn't bring any guests this time, but I'm very grateful to have this opportunity to come together. It's different chapters. We have Indiana and Chicago, and then Minnesota. So even though Minnesota is a newly developed chapter, we still have a chance to contribute to something greater than this. And when we do have guests, we can bring them to this kind of workshop and opportunity. And then the week of July 18th to the 22nd, we participated in the CARP Summer Empowerment Program, and we had 3 CARP LA brothers come to Minnesota. And we had Kyosei Nagai, Yohei Oya, and Hayato Shigeta. And just like the name says, it was definitely an empowering time for me, for our community. And fortunately, Ben and Shizuka Paling, they were on family vacation in Canada for the month of July. And they let us use their home for this week, for 5 days. So very grateful for that. We were able to experience a Central Life, kind of CARP Central Life experience together. And that just added to the experience. And then Patty Bard joined as well this week, staying at the house with us. She graduated from GPA doing 3 years. And then we have Denise. Denise Onni is our parental advisor, our CARP mom. And she was able to come one night and cook dinner for us. And so this is us and our community on campus. This is the holy ground. The grassy area is the holy ground. And we came together to pray, and before we would go out and witness. And even though it was just 5 days, we had plenty of opportunities to go witnessing on campus with each other and practice with each other with different members. And here are more photos of witnessing on campus at the University of Minnesota. And then here is a photo of guest reading. This is Rieko-san's guest. He has been reading consistently the Divine Principle, and I think is about to read Adam's Family. And before the empowerment program, when we were about to start we were still developing our chapter at the University of Minnesota. Our CODA members were witnessing at another community college, Minneapolis Community and Technical College. And this is, I believe he's from there, originally from there. And I'm glad that we had this opportunity to witness together, because when the summertime came, there weren't so many students on campus at the community college. And I'm glad that there are more opportunities for more members to reach out and connect with different people. And here's another photo of guest reading. I was with them. This is Sairi-san's guest. And just connecting with him, approaching him, he agreed to reading the Divine Principle. So this is them reading the introduction to Divine Principle. And then this was a very powerful experience for me. This brother, his name is Caesar, and he's an international student from Rwanda. This is Aiko-san's guest. When we first approached him, he was sharing with us that he's a Christian and that he already has a bachelor's degree, so he's in his early 20s. But he earlier in the summer was missionary in Dubai. He was testifying about Jesus Christ and sharing people about Jesus. And so when we were talking for about 30 minutes, and we were sharing with him about the principle and Father Moon. And he also asked us an important question too. He asked us, how has the principle impacted us? And so we have Aiko-san, she's our Kodan leader here in Minnesota. And then Auntie Elizabeth Patterson is our Sunday school teacher and principal, but also she's been assisting Pastor Ha with his pastorship recently. And then I'm important CARP leader here on campus and in Minnesota, and I really could feel God was working through us and the Spirit was working through us. I was really surprised just how easily we can meet prepared people who are willing to learn more about principle. In this next photo, the following week, we read the Divine Principle, the introduction, for the first time, and he was very, very positive. He wasn't really resisting from learning more about principle and God and your parents, and he was very, very positive. So and then briefly I want to share about Momentum. I was very grateful we were able to come together as a nation, and we had our elder leaders there present there as well. It was great to hear new testimonies and experiences of other CARP student leaders developing their chapters, and great that we have GPA grads ready to start chapters too. Some are ready to pioneer and start new chapters. And this time was much deeper and much bigger, the workshop, and I'm very grateful for that. And we had a chance to reflect on a determination for this next upcoming new year. And I'm grateful to hear from Dr. Yong and from President Al-Kim. Dr. Yong was talking about how important our role is as a student on campus, as a central figure. And for me, it's really weird to say that I'm a central figure in my community because I'm just a student. I'm still single and still young. I don't have much experience. This year was my first time witnessing. I don't have much training, but I do have a crucial role for my community. And I can be that bridge between the elder generation and the younger generation. I really felt it when we were witnessing on campus during the empowerment program. And so my determination is to raise a spiritual child that I can bring to Korea next year. So yes, lastly, I just want to share that I had very limiting thoughts. I was thinking small. I was really thinking that I'm just in a small community and there's not so much people here, not so many second gen or the younger generation that would be interested in being more involved. And I'm older than most of the young adults involved with CARP activities and that kind of thing. But I can really see that God really needs me, and He's been working through me. He's working through me so that we can reach out to as much people as we can and bring them back to God. So that's all I have to share. So thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kayon Moyongo. Yes, God needs you. God definitely needs you. That's why you really need to take ownership. Why God chose you as a chosen guy? Because for you to really multiply more God's children. That's why God definitely need your help. You have to be a God's instrument. Thank you so much, Kayan. Beautiful sharing. And also, I'm so glad to see even our Japanese Godan members helping together with the CARP members. This is really beautiful, and first generation and second generation and get along together and working together, witnessing together. It is a very, very beautiful and very, very powerful. I only can see this kind of environment in America, not other nations. Really, really, really beautiful. Thank you once again, Gayan, Mo Yongo. There is a name, Yong, Mo Yongo. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Kayon. Wow, we are so proud of you. I hope you can feel the love, and also, God is working through you so much. Kayon Moyong. Moyongo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So let's jump into our breakouts and share our insights and inspirations from today's devotion and testimony. We'll be back in 7 minutes. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Wow, I hope you had another warm sharing with one another. I'd like to invite up my senior pastor, Dr. Juanita Pierre-Louis, if she could share her reflection that she shared.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Well, my takeaway this morning is I'm just so happy to see our young people being so responsible. Right? As I said to Joshua, I'm just happy to see so many of them coming into leadership, and as Joshua, Nilhan, and Sarah and all at Manhattan. I'm just happy to see them taking the rope and running and carrying everybody, you know. And I feel that there's so much hope because I was in breakout with, I think, Yoshiko and her sons. And they are so beautiful, you know, right there with their mother. So I feel that's our fruit, you know. Whether it's my child, they're all God's children, first of all. And so I feel that that's the fruit that God can harvest at this point. That's been harvested, is our young generation. And I was saying also to Joshua how happy Dr. Yong looked. That smile is so permanent now. I've seen when you're tired and when you really keep on going though, but when you say family, I can see your face just light up. That's beautiful. We're all family, but there is something about, you know, that family that you bred and that, you know, your children and family.
Yeah.
So much.
Great. Thank you, Juanita. Luis, I do not know recently why you are getting younger and younger. I think because of your husband love you so much. I don't know. You know, yeah. And also, I really appreciate you really raising up our young leaders like Joshua and Miran. I really appreciate you and so put so much your effort. And then you are still have a lot of passion to involve Women Federation and witnessing many things. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much, Juanita Luis.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Juanita.
Thank
Always.
you.
Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite up Deborah Ann Scott to share her reflection she shared.
Oh, thank you, Joshua. Welcome, Dr. Yong. So happy.
Oh, Deborah. Today with your husband?
No, this is my older brother, Tom.
Oh, I see. Wow, I see. What's his name?
Tom Lee.
Oh, Ham Lee?
Yeah.
Thomas.
Tom Lee. Okay. So please, Deborah, share.
Yeah, he had a stroke about a year ago. So
okay. Oh.
Yeah, so I was deeply moved already this morning when Peter talked about the trees. I've just love trees. And you know, why is it that in Genesis it talks about trees symbolizing Adam and Eve? You know, they have deep roots and they reach way up into the sky above all the other creation. So that symbolizes what we get to do as human beings. We have our deep root in our spiritual life, and we get to offer protection and guidance. And trees are deeply spiritual beings. Also, I'm glad you talked about the sunflowers as well, because I was deeply moved, you know, having our eyes always on the Son of God. Our eyes morning, noon, and night, always about and having our thoughts, our actions, and everything centered on our true parents. I think that's that's my goal, and I confess I don't do it all the time.
Wow, Deborah, thank you so much for your beautiful sharing. Okay, also your brother can share or not? I don't know.
No, I'm just listening. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much, Deborah. And then Tom, 감사합니다.
Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom and Deborah. Beautiful sharings this morning. Thank you, everybody. So just a few announcements. Of course, we want to share the love. So share the link as well with the love to morning devotion every morning. It's the most constant thing that we have. It's like the rising sun. We have morning devotion every morning. We also have the transcripts prepared by Dr. Kylie. Thank you so much. We don't even want to know how long it must take you to pull that all together, but we thank you so much for doing that. And all the images, go to edu.familyfed.org. And also please give from your hearts if you'd like to offer a donation, and the link is in the chat. Also, I was asked to remind everyone, if you type in Google Maps in Google Maps, Camp Shahakwa at 2:30 p.m. They have a live concert today. So if you want to experience it live, if you're in the area there. And on that note, coming, I believe, from Camp Shahakwa, we have Hannah Bush and Eva Schneider, and I think maybe even a few others to sing our offering song. So please, welcome.
Wow. So exciting to see them. Wow.
And Linus.
Yeah. So good. Hannah Bushi. Okay. Who is that? Eva and Limis. Okay. Good. Okay. Go ahead.
We all graduated GPA this year, and we're reuniting here at Camp Shahakwa's performance retreat. Yes, please come. It's free. 2:30 p.m. Yes. And we're gonna sing "Trust in You." Actually, on GPA, this is a song that we all heard a lot, and that really connects to seeking and struggling to connect to God and overcoming. And it's about believing in and trusting in God on our circumstances. Letting go of every single dream, lay each one down at your feet. Every moment of my wandering never changes what you see. Try to witness what I confess. My hands are weary and need your rest.
will trust, I will trust, I will trust in you. I will trust in you. I will trust in you. Thank you.
Wow, wow, so powerful. Hanabushi and Eva, Laimis, thank you so much. 감사합니다. Beautiful. Thank you. We get energy more now.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much, guys. We can trust in you to bring an amazing God-given performance every time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now to close us out in prayer, I want to invite up my uncle Ibrahim. If you could close us in prayer. Unmute.
Yes.
Wow, wow, wow. Alex, together? Wow,
Yes.
Ibrahim, okay, bomb on stage. Whoa.
Okay. Heavenly Parent, thank you for this day and for this guidance we had it today. Heavenly Parent, it was joyful to hear your guidance through Dr. Yong, that we have ability and we can meet Father every day if we want. Thank you, Heavenly Parent, for that. And we supposed to work hard to meet our Father and to meet our Mother every day and talk to them and have their guidance from them. Thank you for reminding us that through Dr. Young. And Heavenly Parent, thank you for the song and joy that we have it. And thank you for everything we saw today in this morning devotion. And thank you for the morning devotion, because morning devotion reminding us who we are every day and reminding us the guidance that you want us to be. Thank you, Heavenly Parent, for all of that. I'm very grateful to hear this morning devotion, because it reminds me my ability to meet my father, to meet my mother, to meet my brother and sister every day. Thank you, Heavenly Parent. I report this prayer in my name, Ibrahim Hamadan Asma. Bless and family.
Wow, thank you so much, Ibrahim Hamid. I really miss your wife as well. And then also, I'm so glad to see Alex here. And then do you know how much happy I was to meet you during the Chunbo event? I never expected Alex to come there, but Alex, I really pray for you. Really, you recover your health well. Please maintain your health very well. And then now you are really working together, former leader and current leader. How much beautiful it is. Thank you so much. God bless you. 감사합니다.
Thank you, Ibrahim. All right. That brings us to a close for today's Morning Heart Devotion. Thank you so much, Dr. Yong. Thank you to each and every one of you. Let's keep going forward in these 40 days of Jeongsang in preparation for Father's Seonghwa. Let's meet Father and comfort Mother's heart. God bless you and see you tomorrow.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you, Hana team, Hana choir team over there. Thank you.